Hey everybody, today sucks, and you know why? Because if you live in Indiana, they just passed SB 101, a bill that was signed into law today known as RFRA, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. What does that mean? Well, I'm gonna tell you. The RFRA, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, basically states that because of your religion, you can ban people from a government building, a business, or any other type of organization to protect your own religion. If you were wondering, yes, this bill was created by very conservative white Christians. Many people are concerned because this bill is going to affect many LGBT citizens of Indiana. However, it doesn't just apply to them. Yes, straight white Christians, it applies to you too. And it doesn't just apply to banning people from a business or a restaurant. It also applies to these different areas. RFRA also applies to childcare. Then that means because of religious freedom, they don't have to be screened in order to pick up a child. Yes, any Tom, Dick, and Larry can come in and take your child without having the proper identification. Isn't that great? It also applies to child welfare as well. When RFRA was instituted in New Mexico, a local religious leader actually cited RFRA when he sexually abused 2 teenage girls. At least it didn't hurt his religion. RFRA can also defend domestic violence and abuse. There have been many cases where men have cited RFRA as a defense for saying that his religion lets him discipline his wife and children as he sees fit. Isn't that great? But wait, there's more. RFRA also applies to public safety. Yes, a police officer cannot respond to a call if it's in a religious organization like a mosque that goes against his own religion. In Oklahoma, an officer used RFRA as a defense when he didn't show up at a community event. Why? Because it was hosted by an Islamic organization. And of course, this also applies to the LGBT community. That means that there's a gay couple going to a restaurant, a business, a state house, or any other public location, they can be banned because of their sexuality and because of that person's religious views. This also applies to lesbians, bisexuals, and the transgender community. But wait, there's more. It doesn't just apply to LGBT citizens. It can also apply to races, genders. This law can even ban other religions based on a person's religious views. So wait, with RFRA, that means I can ban somebody because of my religious beliefs based on their race, religion, sexuality. So that means I can ban straight, white, conservative Christians. Perfect! Thank you, Indiana. And there you go, everybody. That is the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, now that this bill is into law in Indiana, that means you can ban whoever you want. Why? Because God says so. Do you see how stupid that sounds? Seriously? Now, all jokes aside, I wanted to show you that part of the video to show you how ridiculous this new law is. Governor Mike Pence has probably set us back 60 to 70 years. The reason I'm making this video is to make people aware that even though this is a great injustice to LGBT people in Indiana, this law can also affect anybody. This can affect people if they're Muslim. This can affect women. This can affect anybody. So much discrimination has been opened up because of this law. Thanks, Governor Mike Pence. What's worse about this bill is Mike Pence wouldn't even listen to the people. Neither would the representatives, the Republicans that were put in the House of Representatives in Indiana. We sent emails, we made phone calls, we made Facebook posts, groups, we signed petitions, we did everything we could. And what happened? The Republicans in the House of Representatives in Indiana and Mike Pence decided to log out of their Facebook, unplug their phones, and log out of their email accounts. They decided not to listen to it, and they had their minds made up already. And instead of listening to the hundreds, the thousands of Indiana Hoosiers, they decided to make their own decision and think on behalf of the people. Well, guess what, Mike Pence? You thought wrong. This bill does not represent Indiana. It represents you and what you call religious freedom. Now, because of this, many organizations and celebrities are putting a boycott on Indiana. Many celebrities such as Miley Cyrus, Kathy Griffin, John Green, Jason Collins, even Georgia Takei have put a boycott on Indiana, saying how horrible the RFRA law is. That means the absence of concerts, comedy events, other entertainment coming to Indiana. Remember in Russia when a lot of artists would not go there because of the anti-gay laws? That's going to happen to Indiana. We're going to see a decline in tourism and entertainment. That includes Gen Con, which brings $50 million to Indiana each year. A huge Comic-Con entertainment celebration that will uproot and move out of Indiana. The NCAA has also cited they're very wary of sending teams to Indiana, especially basketball teams that have LGBT players, because they may face discrimination when they play games in Indiana. This is not only hurting people in Indiana, it's also hurting the reputation of Indiana in other states across the country and in places around the world. Yes, Indiana is making the headlines, but for the wrong reasons. What can we do about this now that's signed into law? Make lists, make it public when a business decides to discriminate against LGBT people or anybody, and they cite RFRA. Make a list, go on Tumblr, on Facebook, make everybody know to boycott that business because they discriminate against people from being served. There's also a petition that I will put below that is being asked to recall Governor Mike Pence from office, which I fully support. Many people are signing this recall, and you should too. Even though this bill has been made into law and is now a law in the state of Indiana, that does not mean Hoosiers support it. Be proud of the state you live in, the state you come to school in, the state you work in, but do not be proud of people like Mike Pence who are trying to ruin the reputation of Indiana and make us seem like bigots to the rest of the world. The only way we can get freedom and equality is to fight for change. If we don't do something, nobody will. Take action, make phone calls, send emails, sign petitions, get the word out. Even though we couldn't stop this bill from being put into law, you are damn sure that we can fight it. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you guys next week.